Hey everybody, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I am Bueller. I am back again today with another creator interview. I got Roger Langridge with me again. How you doing, Roger?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Like we just said, we were together, I believe, last December, right before the Justice Ducks came out. And now here we are in the middle of the year in summertime. And now we're still waiting on one more issue for Justice Ducks, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And I want to kind of reference something we talked about before. We talked about you working on this title, and we talked about you possibly bringing original characters into the Disney universe. And you told me back then that they were just one-offs. You had to kind of get rid of them unless Disney was like, "Oh, I like this character." So after 5 issues, did Disney say, "Hey, we like this one and we want to keep it," or are you still like just one-off, one and done?
Well, as far as I'm aware, they've just keeping them as one-off characters. Maybe somebody in the future will do something with them, but they haven't told me about it. So I'm assuming not. But who
Okay.
knows? Who knows what happens in the future?
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I'm assuming if they do find a character in there that they like, you might get a little bit of royalties if that's not written in there. So it'd be kind of nice to have a character in
Mm,
the Disney
yeah,
universe.
I wasn't aware that Disney did that, but I'd be happy to be pleasantly surprised. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
it'd be a nice surprise. So, but we're here today to talk about the Darkwing Duck Kickstarter campaign that's going on right now. And it's got about a week left, and Dynamite's putting that out. It's done over $250,000,
Wow.
which is a pretty big number. And it's a little structured a little differently. It has 3 different, let's just say, graphic novels that are, I think they're hardbound, if I'm not mistaken. And you have yours with, I think, Jeff Parker, and you have your titles in a book by itself. So you have your Justice Ducks, he has his Negaduck. And I believe, if I'm correct, I believe that's one of the options that you can get for this Kickstarter.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Kickstarter. I was sort of, informed that I was in it, but
Yeah,
as I think, over the various options, you've got basically all of the Darkwing Duck comics that have ever been published, pretty much. The stuff that Jeff and I did is in its own volume, which because it's spin-offs, so it's
yes,
its own, so
yeah.
that's happening there.
Well, I was doing a little bit of research on there, and something kind of popped into my mind because seeing you, and then Jeff Parker with his, and then also Amanda Dibert. I might get her name wrong, but she's was currently writing the Darkwing Duck book. When you all 3 of these books are coming out around the same time, do you guys collaborate at all, or is it just all standalone stories? Because they're all in the same universe per se, and because you got Jeff doing the Negaduck, you got your Justice Ducks, and then you got the Darkwing Duck title. Do you guys bump ideas off each other or anything, or just kind of go your own way?
Pretty much go our own way. As my brief was to sort of treat the series, the Darkwing Duck series, as canon, and basically jump off there. I was given the final issue of Amanda's Darkwing series because that sort of gave me the status quo to jump off from. But that's as far as sort of coordinating it goes. I've just been pretty much left to do my own thing after that.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to collaborate with them, but it just didn't come up.
yeah. So, is there any? I know that the series is kind of coming to an end. Is that it? Is it the 5 issues? Do you have anything else in the works, or as of right now, is it just the 5 issues of Justice Ducks?
Right now, it's just those issues. I haven't been asked to do any follow-ups or anything. Presumably once the series is over, they'll see how well it's done, and
Mhm.
maybe they'll ask for more after that, or maybe they'll offer it to somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. But yeah, at the moment, since we're still in the middle of the series, I think maybe they haven't quite had the figures in to assess whether it's been successful or not.
Yeah. So, like I said, when we started talking back in December, you were just now starting on the book, and the book wasn't even out yet. So now the book's been out a few times. I think issue 4 is out right now. How's the feeling now that you've actually written all these books? You feel pretty good about the project that you're working on?
I always wanted to work on Disney Ducks. I grew up
Yeah,
with comics, and this was a chance to actually do that and to sort of put my stamp on it a little bit. And Tad Stone's gave me he sent me a little message, and direct message on social media,
Yeah.
saying that he enjoyed the comics, which is really high praise. I was delighted to get that, so that was really kind of him. Um, and yeah, I'm very pleased with how they came out. So yeah, hopefully readers like it too.
Very cool. It's a really fun book. I've looked at a few issues and stuff, and I like the direction of having all these Disney titles out there and having a younger audience kind of find this, because you have the younger audience will pick them up, but you also have these lifelong fans of Disney products or Darkwing Duck, whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't matter what, if it's got a Disney name on it, they're going to go buy it and
Right.
stuff. And so you get those. So you get a lot of new people jumping into comics that didn't know that these were in a comic book form, because it's kind of new to them. You know, the ones before, the Darkwing Duck before, was a long time ago when they were in comic form. Have you had anyone say, "Oh, are you the one working on Justice Ducks? Are you becoming more popular now that you're working on a Disney title?"
I don't know about that. I mean, I've had them. I've been to a couple of comic conventions since they came out, and I've had some issues on my table, and that's it's attracted interest. It's attracted maybe
Yeah.
a different I might get otherwise. So that's been nice, and it's always it's nice to have things on your table that appeal to kids as well, because talking about people who don't remember that they've been in the comics before, obviously
Yeah.
a new generation is being exposed to these characters who might not have seen them before. So that's always nice to get in on a new sort of influx of readers.
Yeah. Well, speaking of books that might be on your table, you also worked on Bill and Ted, and
Yeah.
which is kind of a fun thing. You know, I obviously love the movies or whatnot, and I know we kind of hit on it before just a little bit, but I kind of want to jump in that real fast. That Bill and Ted that you did, is that canon with the movies? Is it just a takeoff there? Is it your own stories? I mean, are you introducing other things? I mean, I haven't seen them, so I can't really speak to them too much. But I'm just a Bill and Ted fan. I wasn't too big of a fan of the new movie that came out a couple years ago, but the original two were two of my favorites.
Well, all I can say is that the it was supposed to be something that took place in between the second film and the one that only came out a couple of years ago. It was written by Evan Dorkin, who wrote some of the great Bill and Ted comics in the 90s. And it's or was it the 80s? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's the original run that Marvel did. Anyway, he wrote those, and I drew them. And yeah, it was supposed to sort of bridge the break between the second film and the one that came out a couple of years ago. So it sort of set, and I think as far as Solomon was concerned, he considered it part of the official story.
Yeah.
At the time, maybe it's all changed now. I don't know, but that was the deal at the time.
Very cool. I'm assuming you were a Bill and Ted fan beforehand.
I hadn't actually seen the films before I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had to do my homework, but I really enjoyed them. I love them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were fun.
Yeah, they're just fun popcorn movies. You don't have to take them too seriously. You don't have to really, give too much attention to them. You just sit back and enjoy the ride, and that's kind of what those were. So those are the type of movies I enjoy.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're the artist on that. You're artist and writer. That's kind of your bag. You have multiple skills in there. Do you have preference one or over the other? Are you like writing more or art more?
They're both rewarding in different ways. For me, writing's quite difficult, but the fact that it's a bit challenging is part of what I like about it. It sort of gets my brain working in different ways. Drawing comes a bit more naturally to me, and I enjoy that as it's a bit more relaxing to do. But I like being able to do both, and I like switching between them. So yeah, I couldn't say I prefer one or the other really. I think what I do prefer is doing the whole lot by myself. Drawing and writing a single thing. I think that's probably the most rewarding of all.
Yeah, I hear that a lot when people, the creators I've talked to who do the writing and do the artwork. Like, man, when I get my hands a hold of a project that I'm the writer and the artist, that's my project. I put my stamp on there, and that's the one that I can really go with. Let me ask you about your other books real quick. And if someone came up to you and said, Roger, what's the quintessential book that represents you the most? What would you hand them?
I think it's a series I self-published called Fred the Clown,
Okay.
which I did as a web strip and then collected as a self-published comic. and which was collected by Fantagraphics a few years later. It's where I felt I really came into my own as a cartoonist, and figured out, how it works. And it's still the work I'm proudest of, I think. It was a chance for me to use loads of different styles and different approaches, and sort of channel my love of silent movies and old comics, and all this stuff all went into it. So it takes lots of different styles and different approaches, but each one is sort of a facet of something that I love.
So when you're at a con, do you have copies of that on your table still?
Oh, yeah.
Or you do?
Yeah. Because it was self-published, I've still got an attic full of the thing.
Nice. Very nice. So do you have any other projects coming up that we should know about?
Well, right now, I'm working on a couple of regular things. I don't know if they're available in the US, really. I'm doing a regular series for a comic called Monster Fun in the UK, which is like a children's monthly. And that series is called Sally Astro. It's about a girl alien who's trying to find the queen of her planet, who's run away to have a good time, and she's come to Earth. And so she's chasing her all around the Earth and getting into all sorts of scrapes. I'm writing and drawing that. I'm doing I've got a graphic novel coming out in October, which is written by Jason Viola and drawn by me from First Second Books. It's called The Prohibition Era. It's sort of an educational book, but it's a fun thing as well. So that's as I say, coming out in October from First Second. And what else is going on? Oh, I've got a series called Pandora Perfect in the Judge Dredd magazine. Again, it's something I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you can get those in the US. I know you can get them digitally at least.
Oh yeah.
So I'm writing that, and an artist, Gary Welsh, is drawing it. He's taken over from the original artist, Brett Parson, who was busy doing other things. So Gary's picked up the slack and doing a lovely job on it. It's looking great, and that's just started in the latest issue of the magazine.
Very nice. Do you have any plans for any cons coming up?
Got one next week. Well, not this coming weekend, but the one after that. I'm going to the London Film and Comic Con.
Nice.
So that's at the Hammersmith Olympia, for anybody who can get to London. That's what's happening. And towards the end of the year, I'll be going to the big ones in the UK, which are the Lakes Comic Art Festival and Thought Bubble. I go to those every year, and yeah, they're really good shows. Very comics focused.
Do you ever make it over to the States at all for cons?
Not for a long time. I haven't for ages. When I was self-publishing, I used to come a lot because it was a good way to get my name out there and sort of boost sales a bit. But that's been an issue in the last few years as I've been working. It's been a long time. Yeah, it'd be nice to get over again.
Yeah, be nice to have you over here. It'd be great. I do plan on coming your direction, hopefully in about 2 years, and doing a tour and going around and different comic places and just hanging out. I got some friends that live over there, so it'd be kind of nice. But Roger, I don't want to keep you very long. I just wanted to jump in and talk about the Kickstarter, which we did, and talk about you and kind of just check bases. And so I thank you for coming on. Everyone who's watching this, please go check out the Kickstarter campaign. I believe it has about a week left for the Darkwing Duck. We've got Roger's work in there with Jeff Barker and Amanda and Tad and all that good stuff. So you got many options. The link is down below, so please check it out. Roger, you want to say anything else before we go?
Just thanks for having me, and I hope you enjoy the Justice Ducks.
I am, and thank you so much, Roger. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. You kind of put a smile on my face. I've enjoyed your work. Since I interviewed you back in December, I looked into your work a little bit to do a little research, and I was pleasantly surprised. So thank you very much. And you know what? Enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, my friend. Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
See you.
Thanks. Bye.